In the European tradition, you have the music of the concert hall and the music of the street, and never the two shall meet. And also you had the music of the church that should not be taken out of the church. So you had church music and concert hall music, including opera and symphony and ballet and all of that, and the music of the street. Now in America, that fine line just never was drawn. The church lopped on to music as a really handy way to make its message look effective. Yeah. I mean, it's great for a service to have this wonderful music. So early papal decrees about using modes certainly limited how music was perceived. There was a bunch of modes used by the church that were tuned so that you couldn't even play them on a keyboard, that were all outlawed early on. And so that had an effect on music. Some of these modes were considered pagan or lascivious. Banjo music, which was played in the so-called minstrel shows, actually was an African instrument that had come over and became the banjo. So very early on, the rhythms of the banjo started having an effect on the rhythms of how the piano player played with his right hand. In minstrel music, in banjo music, the syncopations set up by the banjo player are really intricate. And it's really the five fingers, which finger picks which note when, creates accents. It's a flowing stream of 16th notes. But which ones are accented creates the syncopation. And they'd get this wonderful thing going. And the early ragtime piano players heard that, and they took that, and they created, this kind of... They have the accented notes off the beat, and that comes from early banjo music. The rag by way of the banjo music, you have the march music, which sort of gave the form of the pop song, really, the shape of what a song would be. It's got an intro, and it's got a verse, and then it's sort of got a chorus that you keep returning to. You had the influence of the impressionistic music from France. And then, of course, the blues were coming along in another level, but still, there was even blues and ragtime, so it was creeping in. Scott Joplin loved that. It was just a blues pattern. So now we come up to the 20th century. Guess what's happening in France about this time? Impressionistic music with Debussy. And if you know Debussy at all, suddenly you've got... piano bar, folks, Very high-class piano bar, but it's piano bar, right? Yeah. Can I have my gin and tonic, please? Then he'd throw in chords like... He was the first one to do that. You ask any jazz piano player, well, where do you get these ruptured 13th kind of chords, where you pile up sonority on top of each other? Claude Debussy. These jazz musicians were listening to everything. They don't just listen to jazz. So that influence was very strong on our modern, Duke Ellington, he'd go, hey, I like Debussy, man, listen to those chords. And listen to Ravel, because he did the same thing later. Then one of the truly wonderful things that happened in the altering of the rhythm was they went from a very stiff kind of all the music kind of turn of the century was like a little machine. It was very cute and quaint. And it went to it started swinging.